What's up guys, it's Eric from Volcanion and welcome back to another recorded tournament series, and today we are bringing you the Swiss rounds of a recent expanded league challenge that I got to go attend at Cape Fear Games in Wilmington, North Carolina. So in the expanded format, you actually have a much bigger card pool than you typically do in standard, so that means cards all the way back from black and white all the way up to the most recent set, Crimson Invasion, are going to be illegal for play, which means there's a lot more extra cards that are going to be potentially featured in this videos than your typical standard match. So here on the left we have, I believe it's Yuhong. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he is playing Xurkitree GX Eelektrik. And then over on the right we have Mark Eaton, and he's going to be playing some sort of Volcanion or Fire variant. So we'll have to see how this match is going to go. On paper, I feel like it might favor Mark a little bit just because Yuhong's deck is very centered around Xurkitree GX, which is not the best Pokemon against Volcanion, so I think he might have a little bit of an inherent disadvantage just because of the type of attacker he has, but we'll have to see how this game goes. So let's see, it looks like Mark is going to go first, it appears. Okay, so he's going to attach to Volcanion. Playing down that Scorched Earth, it's that Stadium card, lets you discard a fire energy from your hand to draw 2 cards. So you can see he's doing that right there. And looks like he's going to bench the Volcanion, and beyond that, I don't really see a lot for him to actually do. So his opening is really not the best this game, but let's see how Yu's turn is going to go. So he's playing an Ultra Ball. I'd imagine he probably wants to discard some Lightning Energy. Oh, but here he's going to discard a Verse Seeker, so it looks like he has some, and a Max Elixir, so a couple cards in his hand that's, you know, he wants to hold on to this, but he really needs to get set up. So like I said, I'm sure he would have much preferred those to be Lightning Energy. Since Eelektrik, it's a card back from the Noble Victory set, has that Dynamotor ability, lets you accelerate a Lightning Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. That's kind of the general strategy for his deck here. But here he's going to go for a Bridget. Once he grabbed that off Tapu Lele, so here we're going to see, I believe that is an Oranguru. I'd imagine a Xurkitree, yes, since he does play a very thick line of Xurkitree in this deck, and maybe another Dynamo? But it appears he's actually just shuffling up, so that's a little bit curious to me. So maybe he has a dead hand, and he's trying to save the bench spot for maybe like a Shaman or a Tapu Lele to bail himself out. But typically, you know, if you're the Eelektrik player, you really want to get multiple Dynamos in play at a time. So I think that is a little concerning that he did not bench the other, or go for another Dynamo, but maybe he has some prize, you never know. So here he's going to get rid of the Scorched Earth, draw a couple of cards with Oranguru, and it looks like he's playing a Max Elixir, so all sorts of energy acceleration in this deck here, and he gets another Lightning Energy. And I do apologize for the glare right there, guys. Whenever we were setting up the camera, it did not look like it was going to be a problem, but you know, I'll do my best to kind of commentate and make sure that you guys are aware of any of those cards that might have a bit of glare on them. But it looks like the cards that do have a bit of glare are another Xurkitree and Oranguru. So here it looks like he's going to use Xurkitree's GX attack just for a single Lightning. It lets him take a card from his opponent's hand and puts it face down in their prize card. So definitely a very, very annoying GX move. So let's see, he can probably see Mark doesn't have a whole lot to work with, and here it looks like he's going to put back the Versus Seeker. I think that's okay, but here Mark does get a Fire Energy, which, you know, is a bit of a shame, just because, well, a shame for you, I should say, because, you know, had he known he was going to have a Fire Energy, he could have put that Guzma in the prizes, and now, since Mark does have another Fire Energy, he can Guzma up this Dynamo and take a knockout, which, like I said, it's going to be the primary, you know, source of energy acceleration throughout the game in this Eelektrik deck. So, you know, Mark doesn't have a whole lot going on, but he's managing to kind of stay in the game. He got himself a prize card there. You know, he's picking off his opponent's, you know, support Pokemon. So he's doing what he can to stay in this. So let's see, I did not get a good look at what Yu's hand is like, but here he's going to Field Blower, getting rid of the Muscle Band in play. So being very, very disruptive, but hasn't put on a whole lot of pressure just yet. That's the only downside for him right now. So he's going to get down a Fighting Fury Belt, and he can probably just, you know, play down his hand and use a Oranguru to draw some cards. But here it looks like he's opting to not use Instruct, so I could be mistaken, but I think he only has the one card in hand, so I think that might have been a slight misplay on his part there. And here, Mark does top deck a Computer Search, which I am sure he is ecstatic about. It's that item card back from Boundaries Crossed. You discard 2 cards from your hand and search your deck for any card. So it's basically like an Ultra Ball on steroids, basically. It's so powerful that it's labeled as an A spec. So A specs were a type of card that you were only limited to 1 of in your entire deck. So that's going to be the only Computer Search we're going to see out of Mark this game. So it looks like he's starting to finally get some Pokemon play. Has a Volcanion on the bench, has a Ho-Oh, and it looks like he's using Steam up there. It's that ability from Volcanion. EX lets you discard a Fire Energy from your hand, and your basic Fire Pokemon do 30 more damage to the defending Pokemon on that turn. So he's going to discard the energy and start to power up, it looks like, the Ho-Oh and the other Volcanion. Now, I think he is actually going to have to be a little bit careful because, unlike Volcanion, the Ho-Oh GX is actually weak to Lightning, which could be problematic. That is going to make it kind of an easy target at some point in the game, potentially. So I think that might be, a little bit risky going that route. I feel like maybe just powering up Volcanion EX is the safer route there. But, no, I mean, we'll see how it goes then. So it looks like Yu is playing a Hala. Definitely not a card we see a lot of, but definitely seems like it makes sense in this Xurkitree deck, since Xurkitree's GX move just requires a single Lightning Energy. You can usually use it very early on in the game, and Hala is kind of an unorthodox card, but definitely good in decks that play their GX move very early on. So it's that supporter, lets you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 4 cards, but if you've already used your GX move, you get 7 instead, so a very, very powerful form of shuffle draw in this Xurkitree deck. So let's see what else he's going to get here. One card that could be kind of actually useful in this situation is Tapu Koko GX. I'm not sure if he runs it, but if he does play that, that would allow him to be able to knock out this baby Volcanion. But like I said, I'm not sure if he runs it, and just in general, I'm not sure what all is in his deck, if he has any attackers other than just the Xurkitrees. So we'll have to see how this plays out and see if he actually does have some alternate attacking options. But here it looks like he just has to pass, so you had a strong little start, but he's not been able to put on much pressure in terms of damage though. So let's see what Mark is going to do this turn. He could just take a turn to keep using that Power Heater attack and getting some energy set up on his bench Pokemon. So here he's going to bump that Rough Seas using a Field Blower, getting rid of the Fighting Fury Belt. So definitely a good little turn so far for Mark. So yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to take a knockout this turn. So like I said, he can just use Power Heater and just keep powering up some of these bench Pokemon. So Power Heater is that attack. There's 20 damage, but you get to attach 2 Fighting Energy or Fire Energy from your discard pile to 2 different Pokemon on your bench. So he can do that while softening up this Xurkitree. And so let's see how Yu is going to respond this turn. This needs to be the turn where he starts to do some damage. Here he's going to play Hala, and he just needs a single Lightning Energy, and then he's going to be good to go. And he'll start being able to do Xurkitree's main attack. I believe it's 2 Lightning and a Colorless. You do 100 damage, and then you discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So a very, very annoying card, that's for sure. And though it's not too relevant, its ability is actually very good, just not in this particular matchup. It does prevent damage done to it by Pokemon with special energy, so definitely a good card for the expanded format generally, but this Volcanion deck is one of the exceptions, so I'm sure he's not happy about that. But here he does finally get some Lightning Energy, and he will be able to start putting on a little bit of pressure of his own. Here he's going to use his own Field Blower, getting rid of his opponent's tool cards. Definitely good. That will make it a lot harder for Mark to be able to get a knockout on this Xurkitree, because I'm sure he was anticipating being able to use that Float Stone to retreat into one of his bench Pokemon to finish taking a knockout on this Xurkitree GX. So let's see what he's going to do from there. Looks like he's just shuffling his deck. I think he Ultra Balled, but I'm not sure if he actually grabbed anything. I did not get a good look. Or maybe he grabbed Eelektrik. I didn't see there. I do apologize. But here he's going to use that Dynamotor ability on Eelektrik to get a Lightning Energy on his other Xurkitree, starting to set that thing up just in case the active one does get knocked out or damaged. And so I would imagine we're probably just going to see 100 damage come down on this Volcanion, and then let's see what he's going to discard. does discard a fire energy, so that's actually, it kind of helps Mark because he can just get those back out of the discard pile if he chooses to. He does have another fire energy in hand. Does he have Versus Seeker? So he does have a Guzma. He could potentially play that. But let's see what else. So he's going to steam up here. He has a Float Zone, but he's actually putting it on Shaman, which I feel like is a little bit concerning because now that's going to make it a lot harder for this active Volcanion to get out of the active spot to knock out this Xurkitree. So I think that may have been a little bit of a misplay on Mark's part. You know, he does have the second fire energy, so he can just potentially retreat manually, which is what he's doing here, but it definitely seems like a little bit of a wasted attachment. It would have been, I think, better just to attach the Float Stone and be able to put that fire energy on one of his other attackers, potentially. So because of the steam ups and Volcanion's second attack, he will be able to do enough damage to knock out the Xurkitree. So I believe the attack is Steam Artillery, if I remember correctly, does 100 damage, but then thanks to the two steam ups, he'll be doing 160, which does knock out the Xurkitree since it only has 180 hit points. So he's going to Ultra Ball a couple more cards away, grabbing himself Turtonator. Definitely good to play the Ultra Ball now, just in case you get end to a lower hand size. Better to get some of those useless cards out of your deck for the rest of the game. So let's see how he's going to respond here. So he's promoting the Oranger, so maybe that signals to me he has a Guzma he might play, which actually could be pretty good since Mark does have that Ho-Oh GX in play, which does look to be a potential easy target. And he has a Max Elixir, so let's see if he can get some more energy in play. So the Max Elixir does fail, but you never know. You know, he might be able to get down another one at some point, and he already has a fully powered Xurkitree, so I think he's in an okay spot overall, though. So he's going to Instruct, draw a few more cards, getting down a Fighting Fury Belt, definitely a card he wants to see, and he's going to go for the Guzma on this Ho-Oh GX. So I like this play. He has the Fighting Fury Belt. It's going to make his Xurkitree a lot harder to be one-hit knocked out, and also he's going to get 2 prizes in the process, so definitely a good turn for our friend Yuhong over there now. And so let's see what Mark is going to do to respond here. So if he's able to Field Blower this Fury Belt, get another Volcanion in play, and use 3 Steam Ups, that would actually take a knockout on this Xurkitree. Also Choice Band could help as well, so we'll have to see what he's going to do here. I am curious if he is able to take a one-hit knockout or not, but like I said, we'll have to see how he's going to respond. So he is going to Blacksmith onto this Turtonator GX. It's that supporter card, allows you to get 2 fire energy from your discard pile onto one of your fire Pokemon. So nice way to power up your attackers in a pinch. Here he has a fire energy, and if he has either a Choice Band or another fire energy, he can actually take a knockout with Turtonator. But it looks like he's kind of rethinking if he wants to attach it, so maybe that signals to me he won't be able to actually knock out this Xurkitree in one hit. So he's going to retreat into this baby Volcanion, and then we're just going to see 100 damage come down onto this Xurkitree GX. So because you has this Eelektrik in play, though, if he does decide to Dynamotor and just attach for turn, he can just retreat into a fresh Xurkitree and go that route. Only thing is that Turtonator is kind of a looming threat. All it needs is 1 Steam Up, and it will be able to take a knockout even on a fresh Xurkitree GX. So, you know, it does have to be mindful of that for sure here. So he can just attack this baby Volcanion, but I feel like it just doesn't get him very far. I think he really needs to put some pressure on in a different way here. If he can maybe Guzma up this Turtonator and maybe get the first like hit in on it, I think that could be good. Here's going to go for a Guzma, it appears. So another target could be Shaman. I think that is a fair choice. Will net him an easy 2 prizes. Only thing is, yes, you do go ahead 2 prizes, but you're not really hurting Mark's board state. Ideally, you want to try to pick off Shaman, I feel like, as your last prize. But you never know. His hand could be dead, and he might just need to dig some cards out of his prizes. It's hard to say. Oh, but he has Shaman, so he does have some ways to draw some more cards here. And, but yeah, so he will get 2 prizes. Basically, he'll only need to take 1 more knockout on a GX or EX to win the game at that point. And I'm not sure how many Verse Seekers and Guzmas he's gone through, so maybe he wouldn't have had access to that many more for the rest of the game. So maybe decide, hey, I might not be able to use any more of these that easily for the rest of the game, so I should just go ahead and get my 2 prizes while I can. So instead of softening up the Turtonator, so that's my best guess at least. So here he's going to attach that Flash energy. Not too relevant in this particular matchup, but it's a special energy for lightning Pokemon and it takes away their weakness. So I don't think Mark is running any fighting Pokemon in his deck that could hit Xurkitree for weakness anyway, so right now it's just going to provide that lightning energy if nothing else. And beyond that, I don't know what else he really wants to get down. So he has the Float Stone on Shaman. You know, I may have considered attaching that Fighting Fury Belt to the active Xurkitree potentially. Oh wait, no, he got that down last turn, I believe it was. So I'm pretty sure at least. But anyway, so if nothing else, he is going to be able to take 2 prizes and mill the top card of Mark's deck. So it's still not a bad turn though. So it looks like I think he's used his Instruct already. I believe he's used Dynamotor, so he should just be able to attack like he is right there. And he discarded a Sycamore. Not the most relevant card since I believe Mark does have a Versus Seeker in hand already. But let's see how he is going to respond here. I'd imagine we'll see this Turtonator get promoted because, again, all he needs is a single Steam Up and he will be able to take a knockout on this fresh Xurkitree GX. Okay, so let's see what he's going to do. He does have a Guzma in his hand. Okay, so it looks like he's going to go for a Blacksmith though, opting to power up the Volcanion, but I'm really not sure how I feel about this play because now he actually can't knock out this active Xurkitree. You know, because he does not have a Fire Energy in his hand to do the 190 that the Steam Up would allow him to do. So, yeah, I have to say, I feel like that's a bit of a misplay. And here he's going to Guzma, but he actually can't. So, he already played Blacksmith as his supporter for turn. So he is actually not allowed to play Guzma. Like, this is definitely an illegal play here. I did hear that Mark did make a misplay. This might be the one, because he is definitely not allowed to do that. And if he took some prizes from doing that illegal action, you know, that's definitely pretty bad. I'm surprised no one has caught this yet. So let's see. I guess they're just going to keep playing as if nothing happened, though. I mean, I would definitely be calling a judge at this point if had I realized what had happened. So I'm not seeing too much activity over here. Okay, so he is going to play a Chorus. So Chorus, that's another great supporter that we don't have access to in the standard format, though. It's a supporter card, and you shuffle in and draw equal to the amount of bench Pokemon in play, and that is for yours and your opponent. So since they both have 4 Pokemon in play on the bench, he's going to be able to shuffle in and draw 8 cards here. So yet again, I'm surprised no one has caught this just yet, but we'll see. Maybe someone will take notice of this. Let's see what Yu is going to draw into. I mean, no matter what, he is going to be able to, you know, soften up this Turtonator GX, it looks like. So here he's going to grab himself, I believe, another Xurkitree out of his discard pile, maybe to potentially start powering that thing up with Dynamotor. So he's going to get down to Flash Energy, and he's going to use Dynamotor here. Okay. This actually situation, I think maybe powering up a Lele instead could be a little bit better. Just because you already have one Xurkitree in play, and if it gets knocked out either way, you just lose. So I feel like powering up a different attacker could be more beneficial here. But here he's just going to go for the 100 damage, milling another card from Mark's deck. So let's see what he is going to do. Okay, I see a Versus Seeker. Hopefully he does not play 2 supporters again, but here he's going to go for the Guzma and take a knockout. But again, Mark played 2 supporters that one turn, so he had to have... I'm hoping that he did get issued some sort of penalty or this was corrected at some point, but Hey, if nothing else, it makes for an interesting game, and this is a league challenge too. This one in particular was free to enter, so there's not really a whole lot riding on the line here in case this did get overlooked, but nevertheless, you still want the game to be played as it's meant to. But definitely stick around, guys. We have 3 more rounds coming up. Hopefully there's less double supporter action going on in those, but definitely stick around for those for whenever they get uploaded. But as usual, guys, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you can support our channel by picking up something from our online store at rarecandytcg.com or by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. Big shout out to all of our patrons over there. It would be greatly appreciated. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one.